Girlfriend Minute. I am Shar.
And I'm Pascal.
How are you today, Pascal?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You had a good day today?
I had a busy day today.
You had a busy day today. Yeah.
I
We were
had a
kind of
busy day
slow
today.
here, so
Yeah.
yeah, but
Well, I
it's
had a busy
okay.
day. I had the grandbaby since last night, and he's just getting over pneumonia.
Yeah.
So he still gets his antibiotics and his nebulizer treatments every 4 hours. So he's not a fan of the antibiotics, and he doesn't mind the nebulizer treatment. It's really cute. It's a little dog. Back in the day when my kids used to get nebulizer treatments, there wasn't a dog. There was some ugly tan machine.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he liked to hit the on button on top of the dog's head off.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's fun. Now
Yeah,
it's
that
fun.
was fun.
It's not like a
Yeah,
stupid machine. Yeah.
yeah, it's cute. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
We had a
He liked
seal
it.
at home. So,
Oh, did
yes, we had a seal.
Oh,
And there was a dog. You could pick between a dog or a seal. So the kids
yeah,
chose a seal.
yeah.
And but
So
my little Milo, he doesn't have an animal. He just has a small little box.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, makes sense. I mean, he's
Yeah.
in a different situation, How's your week? I mean, we just did this the other night.
Yes, we did do this the other night on Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
So we missed
So
date night, but it's okay. Today's our date night. And
makeup date night, Saturday night.
makeup date night. Yes, that's all right. At least you didn't stand me up, so I'm good with that. This is the best date I've ever had. But yeah, no, my week was okay. My week was, good. I got to kind of relax this week. I did my back end work, like calculations, all that back end stuff in the restaurant that you do. So I was able to get caught up on that stuff. But oh, and we got featured in a magazine.
Oh,
We
Harrisburg
got
Magazine.
Yes, Harrisburg Magazine. We got actually a whole page and almost like a half of a page. So I'm very proud of that.
Wow.
Today he delivered the
You should be.
magazines in, and she wrote a really good thing.
Oh,
I
very
guess a
cool.
story or whatever.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, um, I wish they would have
You
taken
have
a
to
little
frame
bit
that.
better pictures. But it's okay. They write better than they take pictures, so I'm okay with that.
Right?
Um, yeah, actually about the framing thing. So I guess those little framing people found out that I was featured in a magazine. And so of course, they're sending me all kinds of stuff, come and get
All
this.
kinds of
We'll
offers
frame
and
it for
deals.
you. Yeah, it's 170 something dollars to get one of those clear framing things and what have you. And I mean it's great to have, and I'm happy about it. I'm very thrilled that we are featured and everything, but do I really need that plaque? I don't know.
No, I know. I know.
I don't know if I want to spend that money. That money can go towards something else.
I get it. I get it. But I've seen it in restaurants, and
Yeah,
that's all.
and it's
I guess
nice
it just
when
depends. Yeah.
yeah, when people walk in and they see it and it's great and everything like that. And I don't know. I'll think about it. If I have an extra $179, I'll do it. But they're really like they nag you.
I'm sure they do.
Yes,
I'm
they
sure they do.
do. They like nag you. Every day I'm getting a phone call from, I forget what the hell his name is, but every damn day. They like, listen, like I can't talk to you right now. I'm by myself. I'm busy. Call me in like, you know, never.
5 years or
Yeah, call me in 5 years when I'm featured again somewhere.
right. That's funny.
But yeah. But in exchange for them featuring me in the magazine, I fed them for free. So they were able to get the experience that they wanted. And I got to get what I want. So that was good.
Worked out. A little
It worked
bartering.
out. A little bartering, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nothing
Like
wrong with
back in the olden days.
the olden days, right?
Yeah, the 1900
The
days,
good old days.
remember that?
Yeah, stop. Someone posted something the other day and they're like, when I talk about 30 years ago, it freaks me out because when I actually think about it, it's like, wait a minute. It was
Right?
1990. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's true and sad.
Yes.
I
Exactly. I
know.
keep thinking about that too. I was just talking to my nephew and I was telling him about stuff and he was like, "Man, that's old." I'm like, "Be quiet. You don't even know what the hell it looked like."
Right? What are
It's
you talking
old.
about, kid?
Ah, yeah, well,
I hear you. I
age
hear
is
you.
only a
I hear
number.
you.
Yeah.
It truly is just a number.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I had a pretty
yeah.
good week, It's getting down to the end. Tomorrow is my, last day and Monday is my day off. Coming in here though, because one of the state representatives wants to have dinner and I will open it just for him. I'm not going to open it for everybody. He will eat with his group of people and then we will finish and we will go home.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's worth it. It's okay.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
I can rest the rest of the time. So no big deal.
You're so funny. You make it sound so, I don't know, blasé, but there's work involved in all that.
I
And
mean,
making it
yes,
right
there
for
is.
him and impressing him and the food and the prep and the presentation and the cleanup. So it's not like I'll just rest the rest of the day. You're gonna spend half a damn day getting situated. Who are you
I
fooling?
guess maybe I guess maybe I'm just so used to it by this point in time that it's like nothing,
I'm
like
just
okay,
like,
I'm gonna make
don't,
food. I'm good.
don't,
Yeah. Don't
don't tell me that.
downplay
You
it.
know better. Yeah, the hell.
Yeah, I mean it is
In
involving,
other words, you're
cooking
not
and
getting a day off. Yeah,
no, I'm not.
exactly.
Technically I'm not. You're right.
No,
Technically no.
jeez
But
Louise.
yeah, well, what are you gonna do? It's okay. I'll pick one of the days this week, when maybe when, one of my waitresses are here and I'll go sit and relax somewhere. So, but I'm looking forward to
Somewhere
my
warm.
spa. Well, oh my
I
God,
bet you
yes.
are. So I Googled where you could go for a chocolate spa around me. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nowhere.
that's nowhere. Oh, you don't have Hershey over there?
We don't have
Oh,
um,
well, maybe one of these
sub of
days.
Hershey. We have nothing.
Well, I'm sure you have the chocolates to buy, but that's about it.
Well, I have the chocolates to buy, but it's going to take a lot of bars for me to melt it in my tub to get
All right.
the same.
Well, maybe one of
Be
these
here a
days
while.
when you're up here, we can, that I know that you're coming and stuff. I will make a reservation and we are going to go do a spa day.
Okay, but I thought you were coming here.
Well, I am, but I'm just saying, just in case you're up here at any point in time before I get down there.
Just asking. I'm just touching base. I'm just touching
Yes,
base.
yes.
You know.
It's still in my head. Don't worry, it didn't leave. It's never going to leave.
Well, that doesn't sound very promising. It being in
I'm
your
going to
head doesn't mean
leave. I'm
squat.
going to leave, but it's not going
I
to leave
got a lot
my
of
head.
crap in my head too. Ain't going nowhere. It's all in there.
Yeah, well, I'm going to put mine to play eventually, so.
Yeah. So, well, my week was I laugh at certain things at work. So we get this survey every year, and normally I'm just like, yeah, whatever, and I either don't do it or I click in
Mhm.
semi agree to most things and move on. And this year I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay. Something different.
Yeah. So apparently years ago, when one of my coworkers answered honestly, she got summoned upstairs and they counseled her. Now, I want
What?
you to know these surveys are anonymous. So I'm already laughing because you know, you're not allowed to forward them, you're not allowed to share them or anything. So
Sure.
we should probably just all share them with each other and then just answer a random one and see who gets
Yeah,
called.
yeah, exactly. Just give a random answer. Yeah.
Use a random survey. I don't know who's cats. I don't know. So
Well, and
yeah,
if
so
they're anonymous, how would they know who wrote it?
exactly. So they lie. It's not true. Of course they know whose survey it is. They know what IP addresses every computer. They're all everything I click or do or read on that computer on my monitors. They know every email I send to, and it's a closed loop email circuit. I can't get outside emails. You know, anonymous. Everyone's like, yeah, right.
They're
like
not, yeah.
Going over in a group and this crap, and I'm like, whatever, you know. God forbid I get pulled out and they want to talk to me about it, because they're not going to like my responses. I'm going to be like, so you lie about the anonymous. Now I want you to understand that we all know it's not anonymous, because we're smarter than that. But you then going to summon me, and I'm going to tell everyone, you know, for sure it's not anonymous.
Yeah, exactly.
I was trying to decide. Friday I had read the questions, and I went on my walk outside, and I sat outside for a little bit, and I was trying to decide how honest I wanted to be, knowing that, you know, that she had been called in. And so I decided to be more honest than I've been, but not so much so that they probably would escort me out right away.
Not right away. It'll take a little bit of time.
I'm on that tightrope, you know.
Right.
I'm on that tightrope. So, yeah. Anyway, so, and then I printed out all my answers, so I have them here with me at home.
Oh, there you go.
And because I told my coworkers I'm going to be not completely brutally honest, but I am going to be more honest than I've ever been. So were the others. Were the others.
Okay, good.
They went first. They went before me because I was so busy, and I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame you. Yeah. I don't blame you. You got to write what you feel.
You know, it's like, do you feel that, you know, the upper cheese people, whatever they call them in the survey, have your best interest?
Nope. It's a very good question.
Do you feel that you know the direction of the company? Nope. We hear rumors, and we hear them from the patients that get from the doctors. You're kidding, right?
Right. Do you have to type these in, or do you just pick bubbles?
I do.
Oh, you do?
No,
okay.
I type. Well, it's, you know, strongly disagree to strongly agree, and in between. That's
okay.
Like disagree. Somewhat agree.
Yeah.
Does your boss take good care of you? Strongly agree. My boss takes excellent care of me.
Yeah, there you go.
With certain things, we strongly agree, and other things were the other way, you know. Right. And then there's typing involved. So I typed and printed, and I have my copy. And God forbid they want to cancel me. I would have in some of my stuff.
Right.
On top of the fact that I've already been thinking about it, it's like, maybe I really should.
Yeah. No, you know what, I would have. Yeah, you should. No, put them in a little box in your little drawer, and then it's ready to go. You just carry it right out.
I just start piecing it out ahead of time.
Yeah, piece by piece.
Just
exactly.
Just let me grab my purse and lunchbox. I'm good to go. And they just be looking at me.
Right. And that's exactly what I did in Medicare, you know, because I knew, because I sabotaged myself purposely, because I hated that job. I do not want to sit down on a double screen all day long for 8 hours and just punch in numbers and do this and do codes and do modifiers and do this. And I don't want to do it. I can't sit down. I got to get up and move around. So I sabotaged myself, but as I was doing it, I slowly was removing my stuff from my cubicle.
Well, my coworkers, if I started taking pictures down, they'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I'm just prepping for the comments on the retaliation on the survey that's supposed to be anonymous. You know, I was given an opportunity to go to another facility. Then they told me what the starting pay was, and I was like, it's a lateral move for less pay, so no thanks.
Right. Doesn't
then
make
they
sense.
called me back this Monday when I was out jet skiing and left me a voicemail. Now, you know, my cell phone's in a compartment in my jet ski.
Mhm.
and it's in the compartment's lined with foam. I don't hear anything, and I'm not jet skiing. I'm not answering my phone.
No, it's
Um,
relaxation time for you.
so they called again, and they're like, "Well, we spoke to administration." I was like, "Oh, good Lord, give us a call." I was like, "Shit, okay." And then I forgot. So it was after hours anyway. So then Tuesday she called me, and then I wait a minute. I went and took my phone and called her back. And I'm going to email you an application. I need you to attach your resume because they have nothing on me, and we
Right.
have wiggle room. And when can we interview you? Can we interview you, this week, early in the morning, like 7:30 or something? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was just thinking
Wow,
about it,
that's
thinking
so
about it,
early.
thinking about it. I know. Well, I was trying not to take off work, and I can't really be like, I'm taking off work. I'll be late. Why? Because I have an interview. They know I was just at the dentist the other day, so I can't use that one. So,
No.
so that way I would get in and not be late for work and use PTO.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it all day and stuff. And I just don't want to do a lateral move, even if it's $1 more than what I make now. Uncle Sam takes his cut. So what does that leave me? About $30 a week more.
Right, exactly.
Big deal.
Not worth it.
No,
No. I don't
no.
blame you.
I don't want to put my
Plus you got
energies
other
there.
things to be
I
doing.
do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put my energies there. So I'm not. So I sent her a
No.
nice email Tuesday night when I logged on to do what she wanted me to do. I just replied with, kind
Thank you
thank
very
you and all
much.
that
Yeah.
and stuff. But I've decided actually just to get out of the field altogether and type
Yeah.
till and
Yeah.
yeah. So, and I sent it
But
and haven't heard from them since. So I just don't understand. Like they didn't have anything on me, and they said they had interviewed other people and they were waiting to interview. They're waiting for me to call back originally the first time because,
mhm.
they had other people they had interviewed. It's like, well, then I had told her, I
Yeah.
said, I'd rather you give the job to someone who needs it than I'm not going to take a pay cut,
No.
so
That's right. Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
lateral move, so
No, no. You have bigger and
no.
better things to do. So
Yeah, so that's been my exciting week. We'll see how I feel come Monday when I go into work.
I would have answered those questions like, this is a really good question. Why don't you ask yourself this question?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting because the ones I responded to, my coworkers responded to, and the answers are very similar. They're not
Right.
verbatim, but there are thoughts and feelings and things we've been talking about and the
Sure.
changes and stuff. So
Well, hopefully they'll read them
they're going to
and
pull in the whole imaging department.
well, yeah, I was gonna say definitely. Yeah.
So anyways, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see how anonymous it is.
Right. Exactly. Till you get pulled in.
you know.
And then the first thing I would be like, well, how do you know it's me? I thought this was supposed to be anonymous.
And answered in a group. It's in my thing I printed right here.
Right. Exactly.
I took home.
Right. Just
saying.
saying.
See, the problem is it comes across as snarky, but it's just being honest.
No, it
You said
is.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You said all this on the top of the survey, first page. It says it's going to be done in a group. It's anonymous. It says all this stuff.
That's right.
And here,
then,
right, so it's
yeah,
not really
it
being
doesn't make sense.
snarky. It's
No.
like you said this. This is what you sent out to all 200 of us.
That's right. And it doesn't make any sense. So,
but we know better. We
of
know
course,
that's not how
you already
technology
know.
works.
Yeah, you already know. You
So
already
I just
know.
don't understand why I'm here.
But thanks for the anonymous tip.
Anonymous invite.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
What
crazy.
shall I tell the others down there waiting?
That they're next? No.
Tag, you're it. Go
Yes.
up.
Give them a high five. You're the one. You're next.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Sometimes I am everyone's like, always be honest, blah blah blah. But then everyone's scared to be honest
Well,
in certain
they are.
situations.
They are.
And it's like, well, it's one or the other for you.
Yeah.
And if no one is honest and no one speaks up, then they think everyone's fine.
They do.
Not that it's going to change or stop the momentum of what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I by no means think it's going to change what is happening. But I won't
No.
lay in bed at night for weeks on and off thinking about why didn't I at least try to be a little more honest this year.
Right. Why didn't I speak up? Why didn't I say something? Why didn't I say
Yeah.
this? Yeah, because then you're going to constantly think about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know.
well, that's okay. You're going to move on to bigger and better things, and then you're not going to have to worry about the anonymous anything anymore.
Right.
So you can forget about that.
Come
Yeah.
Monday, I mean, we were joking. Kathy's like, I see you Monday. I'm like, well, you. We shall see.
Yes, yes.
You never know.
No, you never know. That's
So,
right. Yeah.
anyways, that's
That's
kind of
the
what I'm waiting
scoop.
on.
Yeah.
That's the scoop. That's where
That's
I'm
the
at.
scoop. All right.
We shall see what happens.
What do we got going for today?
So I actually thought this might be interesting and kind of fun. So I asked, what was the worst date you've been on and what happened?
I don't know if you want to hear my stories, but go ahead. What did they answer?
No, I'm asking you. Pascal, what is the worst date you've ever been on and
Oh
what
my
happened?
God. I think I've been on 3 worst dates in my life. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So one of them was a date that I had met. I had told him to meet me in a restaurant, and it was actually the restaurant here that I was working at the time, and he was 45 minutes late. So to me, I didn't care because I was in the restaurant that I was working at. I was hungry. I had my bottle of wine. I was like, I'm just going to crack this open. I'm going to drink and eat, and then I'll get the hell out of here. So he comes
There you go.
traipsing in 45 minutes later. And he came up to me and he apologized to me and told me, hey, listen, I'm so sorry that I'm late. I couldn't give you a call. He did some services for these nuns at a church and they needed his service and this is why he's so late. I said, okay, no problem. Sit down. He was so nervous. You could tell he was nervous. He was sitting up straight and his hands were folded in front of him and so on. And I told him, it's okay. Just relax. Like, this is not that serious. Anyway, so we got to talking, whatever. The date was finished. He paid. We were done. He did not want to end the date yet. So he was like, well, what's there to do around here, around this area? I said, well, there's not really much around in Harrisburg. We can either go to a bar or we can go watch a movie or whatever. So we chose to watch a movie. We go in and we're watching this movie. All of a sudden, I see his head coming at me from my left side, and he goes,
No.
I swear to God.
No.
I turn around and I'm like, what did this guy just freaking do? So he literally sniffed me.
Yes, he inhaled you.
He inhaled me and he told me
Yes.
that I smell so good. At this point, I am like terrified. Like, what is this guy gonna do? Is he gonna take me somewhere else, and then he's just gonna slit my throat and smell me and inhale my whole? It was so disgusting.
Shows have you been watching?
Well, it's a blind date. It's a blind date. I have no idea. So then finally, I'm scared. I'm sitting there. I'm not even at this point in time. I'm not even paying attention to the movie anymore. I'm like, I just want to leave. I just want to get in my car and go home, and I'm done. And so the movie finishes, and I was like so fast to be done with him. I was like, okay, thank you so much. This was a great day. Bye. See you later. Get in my car, turn it on, and get the hell out of here. That was it. That was one of them.
That was one of them.
Yeah, well, apparently sniffing is a big thing with guys. I don't know why, but the next one that I had, he was a really nice guy and everything like that. Seemed to be like, a normal person, normal, whatever. So we were in the car, we were talking, and then he kissed me. And then the next thing you know is he lifts my arm up and he smells my armpit.
No.
I'm like, what is going on
What is wrong with? Oh my God. I mean, it's one thing to be like, she smells good. It's another to be like lifting your armpit. And
Yeah, no, he literally lifted my arm and then smelled my armpit. And he looks at me and he goes, "Is that okay? Do you think that's weird?" I look at
after,
him, I'm like, yeah, he asked after. I'm
after.
like, yeah, it is a little bit weird. Yeah. So like, I don't know you,
A
dude.
little
Like,
bit.
can you wait until at least I get to know you before all of this stuff happens? And I understand that, there's things that men might smell a little bit differently, like as far as pheromones and things that attract them to the other, woman or something. And I understand that, but honey, wait until we've gone out at least for 3 months and then like say, hey, I want to smell your armpit. Is that
So
okay?
3 months, if he did that, what would you said?
I don't know. That's a good question. It would be about the how comfortable I was with him, I think.
At
You
that
know?
point, he's probably sniffing your armpit while you slept anyway. So,
Oh my God. Well, I never slept over, so. Mm-mm.
well, no, I'm saying at the 3 month point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, could be. Could be. Yeah. And I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. I'm all right with that. But, give me some time, I mean, give me a little bit of time. Let me get used to something. Let me get used to you. And I might be okay with you sniffing my armpit. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't gotten there. I didn't get there. So,
Oh my God.
yeah.
People. And your third
Yes.
one?
So my third one was a horrible date. Nothing about sniffing. I met him online. We went to like a bar restaurant kind of thing, but it was more laid back. And I met him there. We said hello. We started talking, what have you. The waitress, the bar lady, she looks at me and she's like, "Oh my God, I love your hair. I have curly hair." So she's like, "I love your hair. It's so pretty," or what have you. And one thing, if you would know me, I don't like people touching my hair. That's one thing. It's not about keeping the curls all nice and cool and whatever. It just creeps me out. I don't know
No,
why.
it's fine.
Yeah, it just creeps me out.
Yeah.
So, so as soon as she said that, he looked at me, he touched my hair, number one. And then number two, he tells me, "Oh yeah, your hair feels like poodle hair." Oh, thank you. What a great, great comment for you to say.
I've been like, so what does that mean exactly?
So I looked at him and I'm like, "Are you like saying that my hair is like dog hair?" Like, I don't understand what the hell you're talking
I
about.
would have been like, what do you mean? I don't understand.
Well, and I asked him. He's like, "I don't know. It feels like it's poodle hair." Oh, okay, thanks. Bye. You're out. That was like so freaking crazy.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, man. I got other like stories like when I was online and stuff like that, and people sending you pictures of their private parts. And I'm like,
I've
and then,
never been online. I've never tried any of that type. Well,
well, good
obviously
for
not.
you.
But
You
but
don't need to be.
but people send their junk in Messenger randomly, like, hey, what do you think? I'm like, not much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The one
it
guy,
makes me angry. It
it
makes
makes
me
me angry
angry.
too. Like, why are you sending
It's
me this? This is not,
I'd like
I
a
don't want to look
nice,
at that.
clean cut, classy guy who
Hmm.
works hard and likes to have a good time, a little adventurous. Don't be
Yeah.
sending your junk out to everyone in Messenger. No one
No, and
wants
if I
that's,
see your junk later because, we attract each other, that's my business and your business. That's not
that's
anybody else's business.
right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had one send me one and he goes, "Oh, I know you've been waiting for this your whole life." Have
We
I?
talked about this.
Have I? Have I really been waiting for this my whole entire life?
How'd you know?
Yeah.
Who told?
Well, and that's exactly what I sent him. I said, "How do you know?" I said, "Oh my God. Like you got me. You got me. You're right. I have been waiting for this all my life."
like that actually makes me mad.
It does. It's
That's
just
not
uncalled
how.
for.
And I know they're playing the odds, and I know they're just trying to get some attention from someone. And some poor girl thinks, oh, he chose me. No, no, no.
Oh, he chose you're one out of his 20
um,
on his list.
Whatever, don't be so desperate for attention that you pick from some guy who sends that stuff out.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why I have cut everything off then after that. Like I was just done with everything. I was like,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna let it happen organically if it happens. If not, I'm content with myself. So
yeah, I hear
because
you.
I'm
I
tired.
don't
I'm
blame
not
you.
you get tired after a while. You're constantly on. You're looking, for
It's
a
a lot of
good
work.
relationship. It is a lot of work. It is, and especially when you put the effort into it, excuse me, and then you've been talking to like this person for like a couple weeks or what have you, and you're like, oh, this guy is really great, and then he goes and sniffs your armpit, and then it's just all freaked out.
That's the end of that.
That's the
Well,
end of
my,
that.
my my neighbor who used to live next door to me, she owned her house. Her and her husband been there for many years. And in an 18-month time, she lost her husband and both of her parents.
My
And
gosh.
so she was trying the dating thing, which I thought was kind of interesting from if you had to know her. So
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, and she's kind of naive. So, she's like on Christian Mingle.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't matter what the title of the app is. I promise you, that is not what you're getting. And it wasn't. So
No.
I had a neighbor who was a cop, and she's one of my best friends. And so we had rules in place for her. Someone had to take care of her. We need you to send us a text with a picture of his tag number. You need to meet in public. You don't bring him back to your house for nothing.
Nope.
We will be running the tag number. You want to know what he tells you? We're going to compare it to what's the truth.
Exactly.
So one day I was pulling
No,
up in
you
my
have to.
driveway, and she's an older lady, so, and she had no one. Her kids don't live locally; they're all out of state, and so
Okay.
I've known her since I moved in here,
Mm-hmm.
and she's kind. She used to do sewing projects with my kids for school and stuff, and someone had to look out for her and try to advise her. I got in my car one day, and she got her. She said, I need a hug, and she was visibly shaken. She started to cry, and I was hugging her. I'm like, what happened? What's the matter? She met some guy in a public place, blah, blah, blah. And
Mm.
then she decided, yeah, I'll go see your condo on the water.
Oh no.
And then, he's trying, and she's a grandma, by the way. And he's trying to make moves on her in the condo that he lives on the water. And her being so naive, she should have never gone to the condo. We had very strict rules. We were like, we had rules for you. This
Right.
is
Why
not one
didn't
of
you
them.
follow them? Yes.
Yeah. She put herself in a position where it was grabbing stuff. And I just said, please don't ever. What was going so well? No, no,
Well, even if it was going
no.
so well, that doesn't mean you're going to go back to his condo.
Well, she was going to go look at the condo. In her mind, she's going to look at the condo. In his mind, oh, she's interested.
Well, of course.
She's very naive. She was married to her husband forever and a day. She's definitely, hasn't been dating in this day and age. I mean, she has now. I don't know if she actually sold her house and moved to Orlando, but at the time, she's very naive. So she thinks she's going to go look at this gorgeous condo on the water, and he thinks, ha ha ha, she's interested. I'm like, no. And I
Absolutely.
told her that. I was like, no.
No,
You went back to
yeah,
the
because
condo. So to him, that's like you're green.
right, right. You just open the
Not
door
that
for
you
him.
are. You
Yeah,
open the
you
door
just
and you put yourself in a situation that you're in, that you're out here in the driveway, and I'm holding you and you're crying.
right, absolutely. Yeah, it's
And I
very
wasn't mean about
dangerous.
it or hard. I just was like,
Mhm.
you cannot do this. You
No,
cannot
the
do this. And
dating
if you
world
can,
now.
yeah, I'm like, and you snag a picture of him. We need to see what he looks like currently to compare. These driver's licenses are old, and when we're running tags, we got to know what you look like today.
Right,
And
exactly.
she got to the point to tell him, well, my neighbors, and one of them's a cop, so we're going to check you out. I need your picture standing next to your plate in the back of your car.
I like that.
And they were like, okay.
Yes. Just stand right
I'm
here.
like,
Could
if,
you stand
if
right
they're
there
honest
for a minute?
and they have honest intentions, it's not a problem.
No, they're not going to care. They're not going to care. Exactly.
They're going to think, oh, you have people looking out for you.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, people are scamming and frauding people left and right too. So
Oh, yes.
all these people on the dating sites, they'll talk to you. And I've had some, occur to me like that too as well. Well, they'll be talking to you and they'll talk to you for weeks. They'll give you a phone number. You call them, because when I used to call them, I used to block my number and call them. So they didn't have my number. And so they would try to scam you out of money because
Oh, yeah.
let's say they saw, a big girl online and you have your pictures online and whatever it is, they're going to think to themselves, "Oh, she's desperate to find somebody." Because she's a big girl, everybody wants, a little skinny girl, blah blah blah. So she's going to go for any guy that is going to give her attention. But that's not the case, you know? And he one time one time this guy was so stupid. He was trying to ask me for some money, right? For a so-called airplane ticket, okay? And he ends up sending a picture of himself, but neglected to realize that there was a mirror there. And I could see everything and see his girlfriend or a girl or somebody sitting there. So, yeah.
Well, and I know that people try to do that. And that's another reason why I would never go on those apps. It's hard enough as it is. I would imagine that app is just going to open.
It's miserable out there. It really is.
Exciting. But there was a wealthy lady that would shop in the boutique in Bel Air that I worked in part-time for a long time. And her husband, they had a house down here, and she had Jersey. They were from Jersey. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember what he did for a living, but I mean, she had a car and stuff down here. It was like a brand new $80,000 Mercedes, and stuff. And her husband died when she was down here once unexpectedly. Like, she couldn't get a hold of him, sent a neighbor over, and they found him dead in his recliner watching whatever he was watching on TV. It turned out he had a massive heart attack, and he died, and he was all alone. There was no one home.
Oh my gosh.
They find him right away. So she went home and she dealt with all that. And at some point she comes back down, probably almost a year later. And she's on dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not the brightest bulb in the tree.
Yeah.
And you hate to say that, but she had 2 guys chasing her. Okay. Where'd you meet them? And we were friends. I mean, in the boutique, we were friends. I could talk to her. She volunteered. Sure. And I talked to her. And I was always trying to gently put some knowledge in there, common sense, just kind of gently through.
Of course.
And I've been talking to these 2 guys. They're both in Africa, one in this part and one in this part. One mines diamonds and the other is an architect. And I'm just like, oh my God.
It's all fabricated, honey.
I'm like, oh my God. She's so desperate and doesn't want to be alone. And she
nobody wants to be alone. I don't want to be alone, but I'm not going to go for those guys. Get out of here,
Well, she doesn't have that kind of sense though. So when I say someone doesn't want to be alone, I'd rather be alone than deal with that stuff.
Yes.
She's not wired like that.
Okay.
She is more of, I can't be alone. I need someone in my life.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, and that's those
I'm
guys'
like, what are the
intentions.
odds of you meeting 2 guys in Africa?
Both from Africa,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, right.
Go figure.
Well, one lived in the States. He was building something over there. I don't know. A hut. I don't know.
A shack.
A shack. So I'm like, God. Okay. So, when she comes down, she's down for weeks and weeks at a time. So she comes in another day, and I hear her in the dressing room going, "Oh, baby, don't worry. It's all right. It's fine. Don't worry. We'll get you on another plane." I was like, "What?"
We'll get you on another plane.
He had missed his flight, and he needed more money for another flight.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. Come on, Pascal, get with it.
Oh my God.
She came out of that dressing room. Like, did you buy him a ticket? I was like,
Oh my
well, he
gosh.
accidentally missed his flight. I'm like, no, dear, he did not accidentally miss his flight. Please do not send him any more money for another flight. What?
Exactly.
He's not coming.
No, he's not coming.
Oh
And
my
even if he
God.
missed his flight, it doesn't work that way. I don't know how it works. Maybe you have to pay a couple $100. I don't know. I've missed my flight maybe, but it wasn't my fault and we were already at the airport, but they try to put you on another flight right away, so you don't need money for
Yeah.
that.
Well, and that's the thing is I'm like, if he misses his flight, airlines will work with them. You're not
Yeah.
buying a whole new ticket.
Mm-mm.
I don't know that I saw her, but maybe one time afterwards, and then she had come to the realization he had been lying. I was like, I think.
Just a little
But she was
bit,
still
yeah.
talking to the other guy who was like the diamond mining guy. I'm like, no.
Oh my gosh. Poor lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of scammers out there. Just ladies, be careful if you're doing it. I mean, I'm not doing it anymore. I haven't done it in years, and nor am I even thinking about going back to do it because every single person that I've talked to, and trust me, I've talked to a lot of them. I've never met a lot of them. I only met the ones that, made me feel a little bit comfortable to meet. But then once, they actually we actually met. It was crazy. So, nah, not for me. But if you guys are
Yeah.
doing it, please be careful doing it. Don't take
Yeah. I just
everybody's words as truth.
no. I just it's no.
No,
Too
exactly. No.
scary. I would find it too scary, and there's too
Yeah.
many dishonest people out there. So
Yeah.
yeah, she just so I've known a few, and you can't put yourself in situations. Don't be so
No.
trusting,
No.
you know.
No, not in this
So
day and age.
no, definitely not. So people wrote one put he talked about his ex the entire time. It was so awkward.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, so
awkward.
a little bit of advice: if you're taking a girl out for the first time, do not dwell on your ex or exes.
Right. Or any past
It's one to say,
relationship.
it's one thing to say, oh, have you been in any serious relationships? Oh, I was in this one with this one girl for a year and a half and it didn't work out because of this. And then you move on.
Correct.
You don't need to describe her. You don't need eye color.
No, and you don't need to tell me what you and her were doing or what you and her did before or if you came to this restaurant with her before. I don't need to know any of
Right.
that.
Right. So just, FYI, little
Yes.
advice. Don't do it.
Yes.
It's a toss up between the guy who got drunk and pulled out his handgun, not on me, just the world in general, or getting stealth by another loser. I give up dating. It's not worth my life, sanity, and well being. Well, I think a lot of people would say that nowadays, not just women, but men as
No,
well, because
men
there's some
too. Yeah.
crazy women out there.
Oh, yeah. Women will do the same thing to men, especially if they know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're willing to send them money or give them something. They will
yeah,
eat that up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So no, it's not. He invited another girl on the date, told me she was on her way when I got there. I had to get up and leave.
What?
That's what I don't know.
That's messed up. Who the hell was this other girl?
Doesn't say. She just
Doesn't
got up and left.
say.
She didn't stick around to find out.
And I don't blame her. I wouldn't
Um,
either.
well, no, God, no. I
No.
don't know if this counts, but we hooked up and he gave me the worst UTI of my life. Never saw him again, thank God. Well, that's not how you get a UTI, my dear. You got to pee before and after, so that's on you.
Exactly. Yes.
You can't. Yeah, that's how you got a
Yes.
UTI. So,
Yes. Exactly.
you can't do that. So, And then we've had some long ones. So, she wrote, so more of a hookup than a date, but I'm talking to this guy online and he seems cool, so he invites me over. That's fine. I'm just looking for sex. Okay. I get to his house. Oh my God. First, he failed to mention it was his house with his family. The wife and 3 kids were on vacation and left
What?
dad behind. The wife and 3 kids were on vacation and left dad behind. The kids had bedrooms, so mom and dad slept on the sofa bed. He expected me to sleep with him on the sofa that was obviously just slept in by his wife. Sorry, ex-wife. He admitted they lived together, but were divorced. If that wasn't enough, the house was a mess. The kids' rooms needed a coat of paint, and there were just these Catholic decorations hanging all over. Jesus, Sacred Heart, Mary crosses all over the dusty ass hell. He showed me around the house like it was a palace, then lit a cigarette inside like it's the 90s. Didn't they do that like in the 70s and 80s?
Yeah.
I told him I wasn't feeling it, and we walked outside where he proceeded to make fun of the fact I'm driving a minivan. A mom has needs too. So I asked him what he drove. Motherfucker doesn't own a car. He is making fun of mine. Never so happy to not get laid that night.
Wow, that is a really bad date or so-called date. It wasn't a date. It was a hookup.
And
yeah.
She's a single mom. She's looking for a hookup. You have kids. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
At least make an arrangement with a friend that you can trust that won't murder you, so your kids still have a mom.
Well, that's right. And that's what my hookups would be. It would be with somebody that I already know, or maybe we've already hooked up before. So not just a stranger.
I mean, just.
But,
so another one wrote,
do.
They do. My mom was in the hospital and told she would not be discharged. I'd already canceled the date once due to her hospitalization, so I figured I was safe to go and be nice. I ran very close to late because her hospital was so far from the date. The guy was texting me saying the theater is filling up. I'm buying your ticket, etc. I get there right when the previews start. When we walk into the theater, there is literally like 6 people there. So what was he talking about? It was clear he was salty. I told him about my mom. He refused my offer to buy popcorn and ordered only water. He then wanted to stand in the cold and talk about his expertise in the film afterward. Okay. When I offered we walk to a bar to chat indoors, he said he had a headache and he was walking home. When we parted, he said, too bad we didn't get to talk beforehand, and walked off. I Apple paid him the cost of the ticket and never heard from him again, which I expected and did not mind. I get that I was going through stuff and had rescheduled once and was tight on time when we got together, but I felt he unnecessarily salty, and I was clearly going through a family issue and still trying to respect the plans we made. If my mom's in the hospital, I'm not meeting him at all, so it doesn't matter.
No, yeah, same here. I mean, if it was me, I don't think I would be like, I'm sorry, I can't meet you. My mom's in the hospital. If he wanted to try another time, then we can try another time, maybe a couple weeks after that. But if he was salty like him and he didn't even want to be bothered, then if he couldn't understand, I'm sorry, you're not worth it.
Right? My coworker was dating a guy at our work who had a brother. So they set up a date for us. The brother picked me up and went for dinner. He seemed to be rather quiet and boring. Then I just wanted to go home. He dropped me off at my apartment, and I was telling my roommate how boring the date was when the doorbell rang. I opened the door, and the guy grabbed me and kissed me. I shoved him away and locked the door. Apparently watched one too many movies.
Wow.
And, apparently watched one too many movies.
That's crazy.
After talking my ears off for hours, it was a decent conversation, but we mainly talked about his business. He told me that he uses Bumble as a marketing tactic to find clients, show me his profile and everything, telling him how and what he does. I must say, very original idea. But I didn't know if he was genuinely interested in me or just trying to find a client. I was shocked and was confused by how I felt, but at the end of the day, I didn't trust his intentions.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Is it
How
really?
could you?
I
Well,
just be
how could
like,
you trust
I
him?
just be like, well, it's not about that. It's like he obviously was looking for a client, and if you're still not dating him, then there's your answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Definitely the guy who told me off for taking a long time using the toilet. He wasn't concerned, like, are you okay? It was very definite. You were in there a long time. I can't believe how long you took. If we go out again, please be quicker.
That's what he said to her?
Yeah. They never went out
Wow.
again, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So
Please be quicker.
this is,
At
yeah,
least he said please.
right. Well, by the way, there's usually lines in ladies' rooms. We usually get in there. Usually,
There is.
and we have to rotate.
Yeah, there
Please have
is.
patience for something we can't control.
We need a little bit more time in the bathroom. I'm sorry.
I met him on a dating app. Our conversation and banter was pretty and fun, but we had put off our first date because he was out of state dealing with a family crisis. He got back. We set a lunch date, and I picked a restaurant that connected to kind of an inside joke between us because I thought it would be cute. 2 hours before the date, he texted and delayed an hour. Then half an hour before the new time, he texted and delayed again, saying he was having an issue with his car. I was already on my way at that point, so I just went to the restaurant and waited. He arrived in an Uber that he'd taken from the light rail station, which was fine, but if he'd told me where we set the date, I would have picked somewhere closer to where he said he lived instead of 45 minutes away. Well, there's probably a reason for that. We were seated and got menus, and he was very animated and fun energy. So he decided to tell me about his car trouble. It seems the week before he'd been out of state visiting his family. A friend had convinced him to give him a ride to some other people in exchange for $1,000. A friend had convinced him to give a ride to some other people in exchange for $1,000. They were stopped at the border between states, she questioned, and it turned out that his passengers didn't exactly have documentation. So
Oh my
he'd been
God.
detained for 3 days for running undocumented immigrants, and his car had been impounded.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. There's a lot to share on this first date, no?
Oh,
When we
holy
finished our meals,
cow.
he gave his credit card and signed for the check, but didn't add any tips. So I took some cash out of my wallet and left it on the table, and he asked me in this weird, curious voice, "What's that for?" I said, "It's a tip. It's fine. I've got it." And he acted confused, like he didn't know what the tip was. We were vibing and having fun, so we decided on an impromptu drive to a nearby canyon for scenery. When we got to the top and out of the car to take in the view, it started to get a little handy, which, okay, yeah, I put a lot of effort into looking good, but first date dude, maybe keep some respectful distance. I mentioned a large lake nearby on the other side of the city, which he'd never been to, so we decided to head out there, stopping at a little local burger drive-through for shakes and onion rings along the way. The road to the lake was unpaved. I was driving a Mini Cooper, but at the point we were having a great time, so we threw caution to the wind and forged ahead. We got to a lookout point on the lake in time to see the sun over the water. I was thinking this would be a great how we met story. I mentioned the movie he'd never seen. I don't even remember the name of what the movie was. So he said, "Let's go back to your place and watch it." At this point, I'm doing add a little disclaimer that yes, I know it was stupid to take a strange man back to my house, but we've been together for a solid 8 hours at that point. I wasn't really getting any creepy or weird vibes from him. So yes, I took him back to my house. Oh God. Anyway, so we put the movie on. I just can't.
Yeah.
We put the movie on, and it was apparent that he had no intention of actually watching it. Things started moving fast, and clothes were coming off. So I let him know I had a great time, but I had to be up in 5 hours for work. So I was just going to drop him off at his place. He went silent for a minute and said, "So should I put my shoes on?" Yes. Well, why'd you let him take off any clothes? Anyways. He was silent as we got back in my car and stayed silent for about 5 minutes. Then he went off. He didn't understand how any woman who actually had to be up in 5 hours for work would drive him all the way back to his place instead of just laying and crash at mine. He felt used and lied to led on and asked me if I always just picked up men to use them for sex. She's like, excuse me, in big letters. I spent 8 hours and a half, a tank of gas, on our little day-long adventure. Where did this guy get off saying stuff like that? And he just kept going for the entire half-hour ride. And I was questioning myself, like, is this normal to expect to spend a night on the first date? Was I being unreasonable? But in my gut, I just kept feeling like no matter how much fun we'd had, I didn't feel comfortable having a strange man in my house, in my bed while I was sleeping. Some women may feel differently, and that's okay. But it was outside my comfort zone, and I felt like he was pushing a firm boundary, Ed said, and that was throwing up red flags. We got into the downtown area where he said he lived, but he refused to tell me where, and I insisted I drop him off on a literal street corner by a gas station convenience store. Got out of the car, really confused and off balance, and went for a goodbye hug. He said, "Wow, really? No, I'm not feeling it," and pushed me away and walked away. I got back in my car, and the last I saw of him, he was walking across the tarmac of the gas station. I put him in my rearview mirror, and that was that. Except for the text the next day saying, "Thanks, I had a great time. Yeah, dude, remember the lake we went to? Go jump in it."
I mean, I like the ending. I'm not going to lie. That was a good one.
I do. I know.
Remember that lake? Yeah, go dig yourself a hole and go jump in.
Yeah.
Wow, that was crazy. I mean, I would have never taken him in my house, but I think maybe because I think differently, and it's okay. She was feeling it. She was getting that vibe.
Yeah, but everyone thinks differently. But again, let's go to your place and watch a movie. I'm like, yeah, I'm not watching a movie. I got to go to work tomorrow.
Well, yeah, exactly. Then you would just stop it there and then
taking them back. Said clothes were coming off. Why would you let clothes come off if you?
Well, because
they were just all his or partly hers. I don't
know. No, I think they actually, had sex. I think because that's what he said. He said, "You use me for sex." He said, "Is this what you do? You go and you get guys and use them for sex?"
Use them for sex, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that they did have sex.
Date, she had sex with them, but wasn't comfortable to have them in her house.
Right.
But
to spend the night.
Enough. Well, not even the night, but to have them inside you. I'm sorry.
Well, some girls are comfortable doing that. You're confused?
I'm confused.
Well, nowadays there's different thinking that's involved when you're dating. It's not the same like it was back in the day. So, but then girls nowadays need to be very careful about taking people back to their homes, or going
back to your home to have a professional background check ran on them.
Yes, or her going to his house, vice versa, whatever. That's very dangerous.
Put yourself in situations. I'm not saying that you're asking for anything, but you need to think about things and not put yourself in a situation where you may have great regret later. No one's asking for it, but like my neighbor who went back to look at his condo on the water, I'm like, no.
Right, because men think differently than women, and men are going to think with their downstairs, and women are actually thinking up here in their head. So
you put yourself in the situation where he thinks, oh, that's a yes, because she's coming back to my place.
Well, and then in that situation, if they meshed and they vibed and everything like that, why wouldn't you just end the date on a good note and then wait until the next day or whatever, that week or whatever? And if he messages you, you message him and so on, and wait for the next date.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Why on the first date, regardless how good you got along or not, why would you do that?
Right.
You can get along great, and then tomorrow he can just block you, and that would be the end of it.
Exactly. So, I don't know.
I don't know either. The motherfucker showed up in flip-flops. His car was very dirty and messy. An hour of the day said, "I know you want a long-term relationship, but I must have sex with you before I know whether we match sexually before committing to you. I've never seen him again." I have to have.
Wow. Well, that's straightforward.
Well, I wonder how many women fall for that, going, oh, that makes sense.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. Too many, probably.
Probably.
Obviously, that's why he asked the question.
That's why he made the statement, because he
Right, because it worked
probably
for
does
him
pretty
probably.
decent. He probably does pretty decent
Yeah, it worked for him in the past, so why
at
not?
getting what he wants. So,
You're like, yeah, you're right. Maybe we don't mesh well sexually.
right.
Oh
Well,
God.
I'm 20. My dates have usually been with ignorant teenagers who tell me how sexy I am. But the worst was probably the one who said that right at the start and kept on saying it all evening. I think he wanted me to tell him he was sexy, but he wasn't.
He wasn't sexy?
I guess he kept telling her how sexy she was.
Oh, and he was kind of waiting for the comment to come back
Yeah.
to him. Okay.
So at least you know she's honest.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if he wasn't, why are you going to tell him you're sexy?
My 15-year female date, 16 female ditched me to flirt with our straight married teacher, and then spread rumors that I was being terrible when all I did was leave because she ditched me to go flirt with a married teacher.
So like they were friends?
Well, it says 15 female, 16 female. So one of them was ditched by the other to go flirt with their teacher. Straight, it says straight,
Ah, okay.
married teacher.
Okay. So
So
I guess they were a couple.
clearly, or supposed to be, but I guess,
Yeah, they're
yeah.
supposed to be a couple, but she ended up ditching her and then going to go for the teacher. Well, maybe because
Yeah.
she's bi. She didn't want you. I don't know.
So this person put sort of an assault, turns out okay. Things went well at first, cute, looked like his picture, easy conversation, not weirded out that took a safe call I prearranged with friends. After dinner, we walked around town and kissed by the river. Gentle reader, it was the worst kiss I've ever experienced. He kind of led with the tongue, but it was like someone was just hardening their tongue and sticking it out a little. So it was like a thumb. It was like a thumb with a question mark.
I like that one. That one was funny.
And then he like tipped his head back and forth. I did my best, I really did, but couldn't cope with that. I was trying to leave gracefully, but he asked me for a ride to the train since it started raining. Like an idiot, I let him in my car, and then he wouldn't get out once we got to the train and was trying to grab and weird kissed me again. Fortunately, telling him to stop and physically pushing him away did the job, and he left.
Oh my God, that's crazy. I mean, because I can relate to that one. I mean, I've had one weird kiss. It was almost like, he was trying to give me CPR, and I'm like, dude, like, back up. We are not in a CPR moment, and I am alive. Trust me, I am alive. Yeah, that was gross. Ugh.
Well, yeah,
I mean, for me, I'm like her. They have to be a good kisser. Like, I can't. The
well,
slobbering
it's
and
part of
the
that
tongue like a
immediate,
thumb. Like, mm-mm.
it's got to be that immediate attraction,
Yeah.
and so, the guy jumped in my Jeep when the restaurant that we met at was closed and took me to a roadside bar on 19 and then argued over a $40 bill.
Like she was supposed to pay for that?
No, I don't know if he argued and thought the bill was too much or argued with
Oh.
her that she was supposed to pay for it. It doesn't
Oh,
specify.
okay. I
So
don't
when I
know.
work,
That's one thing, not to cut you off, but that's one thing that
yeah.
I guess just me being raised the way I am, I'm like the guy has to pay for everything. I'm not paying for shit. Sorry. Not sorry.
Someone I work with, blind date, guy was underdressed and had no chin. Middle of brunch, a thought came into my brain. How the hell does he put a pillowcase on?
Oh my God. I can't. I
I
can't with that one. That's funny.
know,
Oh my
right?
God. The weird
And
thoughts
then
that go
another
through
one.
people's minds when they're on dates sometimes.
Well,
That's just crazy.
she works medical, so she's
Yeah.
a nurse, so she's
Okay.
like she's all kinds of thoughts. She's a pretty funny girl.
Yeah.
Oh, and another one. I didn't see my insurance guy in years. He calls out of the blue. He never smiled, and he was wearing a toupee. I don't know. I guess she went on a date with her insurance guy.
Ah.
The pillowcase is funny though.
Yeah, the pillowcase was a good one. I like that one.
So another friend wrote, my parents insisted I go with a guy from our church. He was not my type, goody two shoes. I was more of a punk. I convinced him to let me drive his car home after a very boring date. I flipped the car. They never tried to fix me up again.
What?
I'm like, you showed
Whoa.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just flip his car. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. So people, it just, I don't know that I could do a blind date. I think I'd be really uncomfortable and awkward, and I think I would need. I just I don't know that I could do a blind date.
It's
I've
hard.
I've never been on the
It's
dating scene, so I have no stories. I can't
right.
I can't tell you.
Yeah, it's
I've
it's
got
it's
nothing.
hard out there. It's really hard out there. I can't express how hard it is out there. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but it's rough. It's you're expecting something in your head that you created. You're like, I'm on a blind date. I'm going to see, good people, nice people. I'm going to get some assholes, but at the same time, you're still going to get, these pretty decent people, right? There are no decent people. I'm so sorry. But there are not. I mean, from my
No?
experience, no, there are not. I mean, some people have had good stories where they met on a dating site and they lived happily ever after. Those are very far and few between. And
Well, I referenced that boutique I worked at. I ended up there because the lady that bought the boutique worked at a clinic, and she did pharmaceutical research, and I would occasionally help her with her patients. And I had
Mhm.
left the clinic, and she had messaged me, said, you want to just come work part-time a few days a week and help me with this? I said, sure. I ended up being there 7 years. Well, she met her husband, the guy she was dating at the time, online. They got married, but it's a rarity because she's pretty high class, hoity-toity, and
Okay.
he is self-employed and high class too. Unfortunately, not a year into their marriage, he had the Widowmaker on their sailboat Easter weekend, and he passed.
Oh no.
And it's been like 7, 8 years now, 8 years,
Yeah.
and they're calling for
Yeah.
postcard and stuff and whatnot, but it's a rarity. So she met this classy guy. What he did when he owned a fiberglass company, and one of the things he did was the red fiberglass umbrellas for the checkers. That,
Yes.
okay, those were one of his, he did many for not just Checkers, but all kinds of companies and stuff. So after, of course, they're legally married, he passes. All of a sudden, she starts getting these huge tax bills and stuff of things he had not paid.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hope he left her a hefty sum to pay them, or no, or you
It
don't
was
know.
well, his son from his first marriage was trying to steal. It was a mess, and
It's a mess.
so
Yeah.
money was frozen, but things had to be paid, and she was just trying to get stuff done and handled because she was so shocked, and rightfully so. Not only did he just suddenly die, and he used to, down here, everyone's on their bikes riding for miles,
Mm-hmm.
and he had just had a complete workup 9 months prior.
Oh,
He
that's
was
crazy.
he was 59 years old, and he was one of those
Wow.
guys that rides for miles on the bikes on the side of the road in those groups, and
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how life is sometimes. I
It
think you
is.
can be the most healthiest person and the next thing you know, you die tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy how it is. But yeah, I mean, she got lucky with him as far as meeting him and marrying him and stuff.
I
And
mean,
but like
and
I said,
being,
it's very far and few between.
but then she was, while he was kind of the upper class, for lack of a better word, like she was,
Yes,
um, he had secrets, you
I'm
know.
sure.
And
I'm
some of them were
sure.
pretty expensive, but yeah, I mean, yeah, she did a dinner for us one night. She had catered, she had people coming out and serving us like you're in, like, I mean, she was,
Yeah.
yeah. So, um, she blocked me last year on Facebook.
Oh my God. What are we like 2? Are we 3 years old? Like, why people do
I
that? I don't
know.
understand.
I laugh. So I
It's
had
just
posted a
ridiculous.
story about a patient, and I think I've told you before. He was bit
Mm-hmm.
by a snake
Mm-hmm.
on like a Friday or a Saturday, and he's calling in like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and he got my new trainee on the phone, which he somehow ended up down in imaging, which isn't where he needed to be. He's like, I got bit by a snake, and I think it's getting infected, and I need to see the doctor. And then he was making jokes like, obviously not poisonous because I'm still here. He was a funny guy.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a rattlesnake because I got no rattle. I mean, he's just going off. He
Right.
had all these, like, he had been thinking about all these one-liners. And I had posted them. I posted a few because I said it's always nice to get a patient with a sense of humor. She private messaged me and said it was beneath me.
Beneath you.
Yeah,
What
to
is
post what
I
he said.
Yeah, but I don't
He
understand
was funny.
what yeah, it's just funny. What's so what? Why does that make that beneath you? And then she
I don't
blocked
have
you
it. I
after
don't know.
that?
I responded with, if you don't like what I say, you can keep scrolling because it kind of pissed
Yeah.
me off. I'm like, I've known you for a long time now. You know who I am. The guy was funny. And if he's laughing at himself and he's the one making jokes,
So what if I
what's the
posted? Who cares?
problem?
Yeah, what's the
What's the
problem?
problem?
Beneath you.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I
she's
appreciate your response, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden she was gone.
bye-bye.
Bye
That's
bye,
it.
I know.
Bye-bye.
I,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Bye-bye.
when her husband died tragically, and I feel for her, don't get me wrong, she'd been married twice since then. And one guy was a real smart guy to the point where his work, he was locked in a room, can't take cell phones in and stuff, some scientist dude. And he was legit, but he was verbally abusive. So she had that one annulled. So she searches. She does have issues and she searches. And what else? She's sweet
Yeah.
for the most part and stuff.
Yeah, but she's so
Um,
quick to marry. Why? Just calm down.
so she was super in love with her first husband, who she had her
Okay.
kids with. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
super in love. And she was offered a job somewhere, something where she would have to be away from him a few days a week, or something like that. I don't remember all the specifics. And he was pretty much like, that's okay. And they were having some kind of conversation, and then she had to leave
Mm-hmm.
and to go to the new job. And she said, driving down the road, she realized her husband did not love her anymore, or like she should.
Right.
And it turned out that I guess he was a closet gay.
Ah, okay.
Even though I said to her flat out when she's telling me all this, I said, well, what was the sex like? She says the sex was always awesome. It was never an issue. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so it wasn't that.
Yeah.
that wasn't, here's your sign, I mean,
Right, right.
and I guess it was, when it wasn't as accepting, he went to therapy. He had a hard time. He wrote her a letter. He had a hard time
Mm-hmm.
even saying it. He has a partner now. They have grandkids together. They're still best of friends, but she never wanted to not be married to him.
Right.
And I don't know if he said, I'll just leave it the way it is, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, you got to go do you, be you. And she didn't want to hold him back from anything he wanted. And then him
Right.
resent her because they have such a good relationship.
Of
And
course.
then, so she was married to him for a long time because her sons are grown. and stuff. But
Yeah, it's
like I
because he
said,
has to
she's
go and
got
live his life and be his true self. He's not
yeah,
gonna. And what is she gonna really gain out of the relationship if he's living his true life and she's
yeah.
living that life with him? What
I
kind of
don't know.
relationship would it be? So
You know, I don't know. And so I thought it was just kind of funny that it was beneath me because I thought the guy posted it because he was so funny. And it
right
was a good
there's
laugh. And it's so nice to have someone call in and make you laugh and be silly and laugh at himself.
exactly.
To say that was beneath me, I was just like, get off your high horse. Can you just
No,
step down off
that's
your high horse, my dear?
right. That's just
Then she
it's
blocked
stupid.
me. I'm like, oh, so now you think you're punishing me? I can promise you that I
You're
do
not.
not miss your posts. You're not.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm sorry. You're not.
No.
Truly, you're not my inner person. You're not my inner people. And
Yeah.
you're acting like a
That's
child
beneath
and not
you. I'm
adulting.
sorry. That's beneath you.
It's very childish.
Well, yeah, that should be beneath her.
Yeah.
That's very childish
You know.
for
And her
somebody to
one
do that.
son is an attorney, and he looks like he stepped out of GQ, and he's got a beautiful wife, and they have 3 beautiful children, and I'm pretty sure you'll see them in politics one day. And then her other son, he actually lives here,
Hmm.
and he works at the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, kind of following their dad's footsteps. But yeah,
Okay.
so she doesn't live here anymore. I'm not even sure what state she's in because she also moved multiple times, so I've lost count. So she has her first son was her one son who lives here. He married someone, and then she got the dream job of her life, and the best deal ever. And they had to move to
Yeah.
Connecticut, and they moved to Connecticut, and he found out she was cheating.
Oh,
So they got
geez.
divorced, and she came home. Well, her finding out her son was being cheated on put her in bed for like a week
Wow.
because she has emotional instabilities
Sure.
and stuff. And I was like, I understand, but I would be angry.
Yeah.
It wouldn't put me to bed for a week. And I can't stop
Mm.
crying, and I'm sitting here listening to her on the phone going, huh?
Is your son that bad?
No. He's just like, I
Yeah.
knew something was up. And
Yeah.
things had changed, and so he started doing
Did
his
she,
detective thing.
so maybe because she built a relationship with this girl and she found out that she wasn't who she thought she was, maybe it kind of like put her in this
Well, she
weird
didn't say
state.
that. No, she didn't say that. She said she hurt my son. And I
Ah,
understand.
okay.
As a
Okay.
parent, we don't want our children hurt, but I would be angry. It would not
Yeah.
put me to bed.
No, no,
I'd
I
be,
would be upset,
yeah,
angry, upset. Yeah.
yeah. It would not put me in bed to the point that the husband's having to run to the pharmacy to pick up another script,
You're right, right.
And I'm not making fun of her
No, no, of course
for
not. You're
having
just,
any kind of emotional whateverness, but get off your high horse.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sit there and try to make me feel.
Some kind of
I thought the
way.
guy
Yeah, I
was,
don't think so.
yeah, it was funny. We all were laughing. It wasn't just me. He was funny with everyone. He was
Well,
hysterical.
he was funny for himself. So what
Yeah,
if you posted that? Who cares?
he had a bunch of
That's
one-liners.
right, exactly. So yeah, why not? Why not?
So
Yeah, well,
people are
whether
so funny. So,
yeah, well, maybe she shouldn't
ladies,
be
if you're out
dating all
there,
these people anymore. So
no, she needs to just
focus
find
on
her true
herself.
happiness in herself. If you're not happy with
Hmm.
yourself, you're not going to have a happy, healthy relationship, and you're clearly not getting the right guys. So,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
you
it
know,
is hard out there. I will tell you that. I mean, I've been on several dating sites. I'm not just saying it because I haven't done it. I have done it, and I have been on Bumble, and I have been on Plenty of Fish. I have been on trying to find. Did you like that one, Plenty of Fish?
I do.
Yeah, they
I've
um
heard of that one. I've never heard of Bumble. I don't know what that is
yeah,
yet.
I did the Catholic dating thing. I did the Arabic
Oh,
dating
good
thing.
grief.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and I did the
I
Arabic
bet
dating
Arabic
thing.
was interesting. I bet that was interesting because those
Oh, that
guys,
was it. They're all the same, honey. They're all the
yeah,
same. Yeah,
that's what
they're
I'm
all the
saying.
same.
They're all just, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're all the same kind of type of guys. So, and it's tough. It's tough. If you're gonna let it happen, just let it happen organically. If not, just be happy with yourself. Do you really want that headache? Mm-mm. No. That's why I took myself off of all of them. I don't want that headache. It was really stressful.
I would
It was
imagine it is.
stressful. Yeah. It was very stressful. That's to the point where I was like, oh, fuck this. I don't have time for this. I put my phone down and I was done. I'm like, I'm finished. Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
Seriously. And then everybody's like, well, why don't you try to see if you can go out here and meet some. Where am I going to meet them? At the bar? There's not much to
Yeah.
do in PA, Like where exactly am I going to go where I'm hanging out somewhere and meeting somebody at a bar? Do I really want to meet somebody at a bar? I don't know. And then I'm
I
working
know
and
you hate to sound like that because, because I know I've thought it. It's like, I don't want to meet someone that hangs at a bar all the time. There's got to be
well,
more
all
to,
right, if you're just there to have a
yeah.
drink because you're in the area or whatever, that's a different story. But if the
But you don't.
bartender knows you by name and knows what your drink is and knows what all that stuff is,
Where you went on
no.
vacation, how long you were gone for.
Exactly. Now we got a problem. And there's
Yeah, I don't know
nothing
about
wrong with people who go to bars. I'm not saying that,
no.
I'm expecting some crazy, wealthy hot guy or whatever. No, I am not saying that either. I just want somebody who is normal, doesn't like drama, wants to live out the rest of his life doing
I'm not playing the
adventures.
field. Not
Right.
playing the field.
Right. Having adventures and not looking at every single woman that passes by him.
Yeah. Which is tacky and
That's
low class in my opinion. I'm sorry.
it is, especially when you're out with somebody, you know.
Yeah.
That's why, I don't have my last boyfriend did all of that, like as far as looking. Well, beside looking, he was talking and doing other things. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time for
No.
that.
It's a
And I
waste of
don't
time.
want it is a waste of time. I would rather hang out with my girlfriends who care about me, my family who cares about me, and have good memories and enjoy my
Oh,
life.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. I know a girl who is so determined to meet someone. She rides a bicycle, just a normal bicycle, not racing down the side of the road or anything. And she was always meeting a guy in this group. They're called meetup groups. I belong to the photography one. I'm,
Hmm.
by the way, not meeting anyone in the photography one. Let's just clarify. But anyways, I haven't been to one in a long time either. So, but a class. But she's just like, there's a hurricane coming. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you don't know what to do? I need someone to throw my furniture in the pool. I'm like, would you like me to come over and do that for you?
Right?
I need a man. No, you don't.
Well, she lives there, right?
It's her house. So
And
she
she's
was
lived in
always,
Florida for a long time?
yeah, no, she's not new to the rodeo.
Oh, okay. So then what the hell is she talking about now?
She always says, I need a man, I need a man, I need a man. So when
No,
these
we don't
things
need a
come
man.
up, he can take care of it for her.
Oh, well, she can hire somebody. She can call and say, "Hey, there's a hurricane a coming. Can you come over here and get things fixed? Thank you. Bye." Hang up and be done with it.
Right?
Yeah, you don't need a man to do that
I'm
shit.
like,
Come
I
on
can
now.
come do that for you. It'll take me like 10 minutes.
Eh,
That's just trying to
Listen,
get in your gate and get to the backyard.
right. Listen, I've been an independent woman since forever, okay? And would I like to have a man in my life? Absolutely. Um, if it's going to give me a headache, absolutely not. If it's going to make me stressed out, I don't want it.
Well, she was meeting these guys, and like one of them, well, he owns the Pandora in Tyrone Mall. Okay. Pandora
Okay.
jewelry. She's so desperate, but he's total opposite of her,
Mm-hmm.
and no personality. And I'm sorry, Pandora.
Right.
But I didn't get to meet him, but others met him. They're just like, no. And she's like, he could be the one. I'm like, you met him twice. How do you know?
And he's the one.
Why are we jumping in that boat? She's been
Yeah.
married and divorced, by the way, so she's been that route.
Yeah.
And then she meet another guy. Oh, he could be the one. I'm so in love. Oh my God, please stop.
Right. What did
Please.
you do? Talk to him for 5 minutes and he's the one?
Please stop.
It's I understand that it's a hard world, and I understand that, some women would want to or need to have a man in their life. And that's fine and dandy. If that works for you, that's great. That's wonderful. For myself, I know that, yes, do I want one in my life? Of course I do. Do you think I'm going to sit here and say, no, I don't? Of course I have needs. I have things, that I would like to share with another person. But if that other person is causing me stress and being dramatic and doing all of that stuff, I don't have time for that. At my age right now, at this point of time in my life, I do not have time for that. And I don't want it.
And she's older than us too, by the way. So she's been searching for a while. I think any woman, me included, would want someone that brings something to the relationship.
Exactly.
And so no one's bashing or no one's, it's just what little experience I had. I'm like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's a tough world, but women, please be careful. If you are doing it and this is what you're looking for, more power to you. Do whatever makes you happy, but at the same time, make good choices.
Yeah.
God gave you a brain.
Picture of the car and the tag.
Yeah, God gave you a
Send
brain.
Send it to 5 of your closest friends.
Don't go home with them on the first date.
Yeah. Don't show them where you live. Don't go
No.
to the condo on the water.
No, you got time.
You've seen them all.
That's right. And you have time. Don't feel like as though you are running out of time or, you're desperate. Please don't. Because men actually, believe it or not, they have a sonar. When they know that a woman is desperate, they can pick that shit up.
Do they?
Yes, they do. And so they know who they can play around with, and they know who they can't. And then if they know that you're not going to be playing around and they try to guilt you, please don't fall for it either.
Yeah.
So, and have some respect for yourself. You're worth diamonds. Okay? Every woman is a diamond. So don't fuck your diamond up.
And don't ever think this might be my only chance. Because it's not going to be.
It's not. There's too many fish in the water. There's plenty of fish in the water. So, yeah, there's always somebody better.
And keep on fishing a different spot.
That's right. There's always somebody better out there. Somebody that will treat you the way you're supposed to be treated. So just don't fall for any guy. So,
right.
And be safe. Important. Be safe. Safety first.
Yeah.
Safety first. And any date, on any dating scene, safety first, for sure.
Yeah. Please do not give out your credit card number.
No.
Please do not buy airfare for anyone.
Yeah, and don't be giving money to people because they're asking you for money. No. People will not ask you for money if they actually want to date you.
No, correct.
Yeah. So don't fall for that.
I thought it would be interesting and that we would have some funny stories, and we had a few. And so
we did.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, just to give you a few of mine and to listen to the few that you had. So that was very funny. Especially the one story was very funny. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I know, right?
Go jump in a lake. Go do it. Yeah.
Maybe a
But
little
yeah,
shove.
yeah, maybe a little shove. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Well,
but
we
that was it, my
appreciate you
dear.
guys listening as always. Please subscribe to our channel. And if you have anything that you want us to talk about, please leave it down in the comments and Char will get back to you on that. There's also email. And she'll go ahead and tell you all about that stuff. Otherwise, thanks for listening and please push that button. We appreciate it.
Okay, so we are on, as always, where you can find us pretty much all over: Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Podcast Index, Listen Notes, Apple, Google, Pandora, TuneIn, iHeart, Deezer. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we are TikToking, we have YouTube, and we have Patreon.
See, I
And that's
told
it.
you we're everywhere as usual. All
And
right.
that's it,
Well,
my dear.
thanks for our date, our
Yes, a
rescheduled
day
date.
late, a day
Yes, it was
late.
fun. No, it was good though, but
Yes.
it's early. It's not crazy time, so
It's 12:33 and we're done.
we are done.
And I was
Yes.
up at 4 a.m. feeding a 3-month-old. So I am,
Oh, you are
I am,
pooped. You need
I
to go
am
to
done.
bed. Yes, yes. Well, have a
Oh
great
yeah.
night, and it's
You
good
as well,
talking
my
to you.
dear. You too. You take care, and I will talk to you later. And you have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.